Good evening, everyone. My name is Putu Marcellinus Kurnia pertama, and in this situation, in this first video, I will be supporting the motion that was given in the group. So let's start it in 3, 2, 1. European powers with past colonial history should not refuse to take refugees from countries that they colonized before. I really support this idea, but I need to tell you guys about the background of colonizing. So colonizing happened because of the trade route was being colonized or was being taken by the Muslim Sultanate, which was the Ottoman Empire. Why Ottoman Empire did that? Because they viewed the place as being strategic, and that's why it seems important by them, and it is important. It was important by them, and also the European powers. When the European powers lost that city, which name was Constantinople, now it is also known as Istanbul or Istanbul, they start colonizing the new world. They started exploration first, right? After that, they started colonizing and exploiting the colonizers that they got from the new world, right? So yeah, that's how it happened, because of the trade route was being blocked by the Constantinople or the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Sultanate or Ottoman Empire. How it ended? So it ended because of war, the Second World War to be exact. How it could happen, or how it could end the colonization by these European powers, because European powers needs their own money to rebuild themselves, not to pour the money to the colonial government in their colony. So that's why it ended, because of mostly of their own resources was being paid or being given to the United States, especially the gold, because at the time every country in the world is still using or pegging their currency to gold. That's why when the gold reserve is almost zero, or they didn't have a lot of gold reserve, they cannot maintain their colony. That's why United Kingdom gave its colony its independence, especially I'm talking about India and Pakistan in 1947. So why are there refugees, especially if according to this motion, coming from the countries that they colonized before? Because after the colonization ended, the outcome is there are a lot of newly independent countries, right? So we all know newly independent countries don't have a stabilized government and also a stabilized country, just like the European powers are having. So the issue for these people that was not being refugees from the newly independent countries, right, was they cannot find a new chance. They cannot find a chance to flourish themselves, to lift up their standard of economy inside of their society, inside of their country. So that's how the refugees are made of. So refugee tends to seek a new chance inside other country to lift up their own economy, especially, right, or their own life, especially, right, or especially to save their own life, right? So that's why European powers are being targeted to be the place to be going to by these people, right? Because European powers are developed country, and they are really hoping that these European powers can provide them a new life, a new way of economy standard to them, to lift up their own economy. So why European countries should take them, my opinion is mostly two. Because one, economical issue. So a European country can use these refugees for their own need. It means like for these industrial corporation, they can use these refugees that are pouring or coming from other countries for their industrial needs, for their labor, a cheap labor, but not exploiting them, not discriminating them, because there are laws, especially these European countries are members of a lot of international organization, and one of them is United Nations, right? United Nations is not supporting, obviously it's not supporting this kind of illegal action. So Other economical advantages comes from these refugees. When these refugees gain their chances that they have been wanting before, so they can uplift their economy in the society, right? After they can lift up their economy in the European powers, they can just have intentions to go back to their own country, like to lift off their own country, because there is this thing called nationalism. When people are nationalists, they are willing to go back to their own country, no matter how bad their newly independent country is, but they don't care about that. As long as they're supporting their country to be a better one, they will come back. All right. And the second is humanity issue. There are a lot of there are a lot of conflict in these newly independent states, in these newly independent countries, and our nation was one of them, because we've experienced destabilization in Indonesia during 1945 or to 1965, or during Sukarno era, where a lot of uprising happens in our country, right? And it also is happening right now in this decade. And as you heard before, there is Palestinian and Israel conflict right now, right? So it will provide a lot of refugees to go out from these places, right? So that's why European powers, not only European powers, but every powers in this world, every countries in this world needs to take these refugees. But unfortunately, if we're talking about Palestinian and Israel conflict, mostly the Middle Eastern countries will not, or are not willingly to take these refugees. So that's why European powers needs to take these refugees to save these people in terms of humanity needs. And also United Nations forces every country in this world, especially we're talking right here, is European power to take a lot of refugees when there are a lot of people desperate.